All right, let's get right into it. We're about to pull back the curtain on something you see every single day, but probably never really think about, the color black. And trust me, it is way more surprising and complex than you can imagine. Now, that might sound a little over the top, right? But honestly, in the world of industrial manufacturing, getting black wrong isn't just a simple mistake. It can be a total disaster. A shade that's just slightly off can get an entire batch of products rejected. And we're not talking about tiny variations you need a microscope to see. A grayish black, it just looks cheap. A brownish black looks old and faded. And a dead black, it's just flat, lifeless, and it has absolutely none of that premium feel. This is a massive problem in industries from car parts to high-end electronics. So what's the deal? Why is getting a perfect black so tricky? Well, the secret is all about understanding what causes these common failures in the first place. It really boils down to these three critical mistakes. These are the secret variables that trip up even the most experienced pros. See, it's not just about dumping in black pigment. It's a whole science of selection, dosage, and this hidden property we're about to break down. So the hero of our story is a pigment called carbon black. It's the main ingredient for pretty much all black shades, but it has a secret identity. And figuring that out is the key to absolutely everything. And boom, there it is, the undertone. No carbon black is ever truly new. It always has a hidden color bias, usually leaning a little bit blue or a little bit brown. And get this, that's not a defect. It's just a fundamental property of the pigment. If you ignore it, you're pretty much guaranteed to fail. So, the takeaway here is that not all blacks are created equal, not by a long shot. As you can see, you have to choose a specific type based on the effect you're going for. A high jet black, which is made for maximum darkness, actually gives you a cool bluish tint. A brown black, on the other hand, gives you a warmer feel. Picking the right one is step one. Okay, so we know about undertones now, but why do they matter so much? Well, in the real world, they completely change how we feel about a product's value and its job. And this slide just nails the point. A bluish black looks deep, luxurious, high quality. You know, think of the dashboard in a brand new car. A brownish black, though, feels warmer, more practical, maybe even a little dull, which is totally fine for industrial pipes, but not what you want for a luxury gadget. The undertone literally defines the whole vibe. You know, if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this right here. The hunt for perfect black isn't about making something darker and darker. It's about controlling its hidden color. This is the big aha moment that separates the amateurs from the masters. This brings us to what is maybe the most crucial idea of all. We've all seen it, right? A black that's so rich and luxurious versus one that just looks cheap and flat. Well, that's the difference between a deep black and a dead black. So what is it exactly? What's that quality that just makes a black object look completely lifeless? Well, it's a super common mistake, and it comes from a really simple but very wrong assumption. The cause is actually fascinating. A dead black is usually someone just trying too hard. They keep adding more carbon, thinking darker is better, right? But without balance or any supporting color, they just kill it. They kill the color, leaving it totally flat. A deep black, on the other hand, is a carefully built, balanced shade. And here it is, the secret formula. Real depth doesn't come from just more black pigment, it's from complexity. By adding a tiny, almost invisible amount of a support pigment, like a blue or a violet, you create this richness that pure carbon just can't achieve on its own. It's totally counterintuitive, but you make black richer by adding a little bit of color. Okay, so that's the theory. Let's get practical. How do you actually fix a black shade when it starts to go wrong? Well, here's the master's toolkit. This table is basically your troubleshooting cheat sheet for perfect black. If your shade looks too grayish, you don't just dump in more carbon. Nope, you add a microdose of blue to deepen it. If it's too brownish, you use blue or violet to cancel out that brown undertone. And look at the fix for dead black. You reduce the carbon and add that support pigment. Wild. And when we microdose, we are not kidding. The corrections, especially with these supporting colors, are done at the level of parts per million. This is serious precision work. One tiny drop too much can throw off the entire batch. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's one more curveball, the material itself. The exact same black formula, totally different depending on the plastic it's mixed into. HDPE tends to pull black towards brown, while nylon can make it look a bit gray. This means the formula has to be tweaked for every single application. So, to wrap this all up, let's go over the key takeaways. Think of these as the essential rules to live by if you want to avoid those common mistakes and finally nail that perfect black shade. First, your first instinct can't be to just add more carbon. Second, remember that darkness is not the goal, depth is. Third, the undertone is everything. You can't ignore it. Fourth, make sure your pigments are actually mixed properly. And finally, always account for the material you're working with. Avoiding these pitfalls is the real path to a stable, beautiful black. So the next time you see a high-end product with that incredible, deep, rich black finish, you'll know it wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate, scientific process of balancing carbon, controlling that hidden undertone, and adding just a secret touch of color. Pretty cool thing to think about.
On day 9, you learned carbon black types, undertone control, depth, deads, black correction logic, polymer effect. Tomorrow on day 10, we will cover bright and new set matching, fluorescent pigment, heat and light issue, fading solution. Like and subscribe this channel. Thank you.